Malaysia is a Commonwealth country that used to be a colony of the British Empire. On the 31st of August 1957, the country gained independence from British colonization, marking the birth of Malaya. On 16th of September 1963, Sabah, Sarawak, and Singapore joined with the Federal of Malaya, creating Malaysia. However, Singapore departed from the Union 2 years later, and Malaysia is currently a multiracial country that comprises of three main races, namely Malay, Chinese, and Indian, as well as the natives known as the Orang Asli. Unlike England, Malaysia has a written constitution, which is a main feature of countries developed through independence. It was first introduced as the Federation of Malaya on the day of its independence, and subsequently introduced as the Constitution of Malaysia on the day Malaysia was formed. The federal constitution was legislated under the condition that Malaysia operates under a democratic constitutional monarchy. The head of the country is known as His Majesty the King or the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. He is in charge of the customs and traditions of the Malays and has power to administrate Islamic religion in each state while holding the position of head of Islam in Penang, Malacca, Sabah, Sarawak, and the Federal Territories. Under the federal constitution, Malaysia also has a bicameral parliament consisting of the House of Representatives or Dewan Rakyat and the upper house or the Dewan Negara. Previously in Malaysia, there were two major coalition parties, that is Barisan Nasional (BN) and Pakatan Rakyat (PR). Barisan Nasional consists of racially based parties, namely the United Malays National Organisation (UMNO), the Malaysia Chinese Association (MCA), and the Malaysian Indian Congress (MIC). On the other hand, Pakatan Rakyat consists of the People's Justice Party (PKR), the Democratic Action Party (DAP), and the Pan-Malaysian Islamic Party (PAS or PAS). However, Pakatan Rakyat dissolved in 2015 due to internal disputes over the implementation of Sharia law. Pakatan Harapan then was founded preceding the disband of Pakatan Rakyat. It consists of PKR, DAP, and a PAS split-off party known as Parti Amanah Negara, as well as an UMNO split-off party known as Parti Pribumi Bersatu Malaysia, or It is no surprise that the voting system in Malaysia follows that of the UK, which operates on the first-past-the-post system. This means the candidate that gets the most number of votes out of the total ballot cast wins, and the government is formed when a party secures more than half the seats in parliament. In Malaysia, elections take place every 5 years. During elections, voters will vote within their constituencies, which are essentially areas within a state. Electorates other than those in KL and Putrajaya are each given 2 votes, a federal vote and a state vote. The federal vote allows electors to vote for the 222 members of the House of Representatives that sits at the Dewan Rakyat. The party that holds the majority of the House of Representatives will form the federal government. The state vote generally coincides with the general election. By casting the state vote, voters are essentially electing members of the State Legislative Assembly, also known as the Ahli Dewan Undangan Negeri. These are the people that are elected to form the state government. Elections, however, have no impact on the formation of the upper house parliament, since the 70 members are appointed by the Yang di-Pertuan Agong upon the Prime Minister's advice. Prior to the 2019 amendment, per the federal constitution, only Malaysian citizens at or above the age of 21 that has not been barred or disqualified by any laws are eligible as voters. The voting age of 21 was adopted from the traditional British voting age that has since been reduced to 18 and is in the process of being further reduced to 16. The spark to reduce the voting age in Malaysia was ignited in 2016 when the Undi 18 activist campaign was founded by 2 young Malaysians, Kira Yusri and Tharma Pillai, who were student leaders of the Malaysian Student Global Alliance. According to Yusri, the Undi 18 campaign was inspired by the presidential campaigns in the US, where debates were not only allowed but in fact encouraged during university campaigns. To Yusri, this highlighted the lack of political discourse in Malaysia. For Tharma, on the other hand, he believes that The reduction of voting age is the only way to stop silencing of the youths by forcing the society to recognize its youth as a new force that drives national development and politics. Together, the two lobbied and recruited volunteers for the Undi 18 campaign, but not much was done under the Barisan Nasional administration. The campaign really picked up its pace, though, upon its subsequent collaboration with Syed Saddiq, the former Youths and Sports Minister, which popularized Undi 18 through social media and allowed the incorporation of Undi 18 in the PH manifesto. After the PH's success in the 14th general election, the objective of Undi 18 was finally put into motion by the Constitutional Amendment Bill 2019. The main aim of the bill is to fulfill Pakatan Harapan's promise to reduce the voting age in Malaysia. The bill covers voting age reduction as well as automatic registration. It proposed amendments for Article 47 and 119 of the Federal Constitution, which would lower the qualifying age for voters and elected representatives. Automatic registration was also a feature of the bill. Clause 3B of the bill proposed for changes of the qualifying date to when a person is registered by the Election Commission as an elector. This would allow citizens to be automatically registered as a voter when they reach the age of 18. Automatic registration is said to be the solution to the influx of voters after the reduction of voting age, which is estimated to rise from 14.9 million to 22.7 million by the 2023 election. This begs the question, what is the true aim behind the amendment? Besides of fulfilling Pakatan Harapan's promise made in their manifesto, is the amendment truly made for the benefit of the people? Youth voters are said to be an unpredictable demographic. This is because their support largely depends on how well the political parties can relate to them. This presents Undi 18 as a potential force that drives the modernization of Malaysian politics. Political parties are now faced with an uncertainty they have never encountered. They have to connect with the youths instead of directing their efforts solely to the older demographics. This means they will have to quickly adapt and morph their agenda to appeal to the youngsters of Malaysia. The amendment is recognized as a revitalizer for the Malaysian politics. As per UMNO MP Hishamuddin Hassin, youth empowerment is important, especially to help them voice their needs and aspirations in the ballot box. This includes job opportunities, cost of living, education, and other matters that relate to them. Under this amendment, the government is now forced to be accountable to the youths of Malaysia as they are given the ability to sway the elections. This is a key reason for Undi 18, since the younger generation is the demographic that will truly feel any impact of the decisions made by the government now. It is undeniable that the amendment brings positive impact to the Malaysian political scene. The influx of young voters doesn't only promote inclusivity, but might also be a game changer for the parties, since by reducing the voting age, the parties are essentially putting their position at risk. This begs the question of, why was the bill so largely supported? When attempting to discover the true intention behind a piece of legislation, it is important to not only analyze the potential benefits it can bring to the society, but also the potential political incentive behind passing a particular legislation. It is highly perceptible that the reduction of voting age might not just be a mere act of good Samaritan, but instead driven by political ambitions. At the offset, there was already a high probability of the bill being passed. The bill was predicted to be backed by the Pakatan Harapan coalition and the opposition parties such as UMNO and PAS, who are set to benefit from it. This allows the bill to easily obtain the approval of 2/3 of the parliament. Firstly, the near unanimous agreement of the parliament could simply be due to the fact that there is a lack of reason to oppose it. In fact, opposing the bill could actually be detrimental to the parties in the long run since it was so widely supported. However, the parties were also given sufficient political incentives to back the bill. For instance, Undi 18 brings clear benefits for Pakatan Harapan, for it was one of their key pledges in the run-up to the 14th general election. Furthermore, statistics of that election indicates that Pakatan Harapan routed Barisan Nasional amongst voters aged between 21 to 30. This shows that Pakatan Harapan is largely supported by younger voters, which suggests that Malaysians that are soon to be 18 to 21 are likely to back Pakatan Harapan in the 2023 election as well. That said, although Pakatan Harapan fends well in urban constituencies, it still lags behind in rural areas as they struggle to gain Malay voters' trust. Increasing the electorate base still carries a certain risk for Pakatan Harapan, since that means a spike in Malay voters as well. But one man's trash is another man's treasure. The influx of Malay voters is perceptibly more beneficial to race-based parties such as UMNO and PAS. This is because study shows that Malay youths are increasingly right-winged and are expected to favour racially based parties. PAS, for example, has created a comprehensive ecosystem that introduces its vision and solidifies commitment to its belief. They achieve this mainly by utilising education, social media, and religious activities. For instance, PAS's party-run schooling system begins at preschool level, and this could be the reason why PAS backed the amendment, since it will allow it to directly tap into its targeted demographic. Agreement from PAS and UMNO would also be logical, since the minimum age for people to become a member of these parties is currently at the age of 13 and 16 respectively.
Hello, good afternoon, Miss. My name is Ibrahim Abdullah Elawan. I am going to present on analysis on reduction of voting age in Malaysia. The reduction of voting age has been reduced in Malaysia from 21 to 18. In so many countries, the voting age is 18, but in Malaysia it is 21. It has been reduced because it needs to be reduced, and youths need to participate in political system. What I'm going to talk about today is reduction of voting age good or bad? Reduction of voting age is good because it includes young people in the political system. It makes them feel that they are recognized in the political system. Youths constitute a large number of people in the society. Youths are plenty, are much, and if they are not included in the political system, it makes a lot of people to be redundant in the political system of the society. Secondly, if youths are included in the political system, it makes equality. It improves equality in the society. Equality in respect of age, equality in respect of ethnic, and equality in respect of gender. When young people are not included in the political system, it shows inequality among the citizens of the country. And also, youth people, if your youth people are included in the political system, it makes your youth to emphasize more on how to make the country to develop. Youth people are the ones presently studying the government, are the ones presently studying the law of the country. Youths are the ones presently studying the constitution itself. Youths are the ones presently studying politics. And youths are seeing what is going on live of the country. So if youth are included in the political system, they may know who deserves to rule the country. Youths may know who have the mind, since they are studying and they are seeing based on experience. Youths may know the person who deserves to rule. They may know who will come and help in the development of the country. Youths are the one on technology. Youths are the one who knows much on technology. Youths may be the ones who may use the technology in order to develop, in order to improve the administration of the country. However, there are bad sides of youths being included in the voting system. One is youths lacks experience in the politics or in the constitution, because youth may not know what had happened previously in the political system. Youth may not know how it takes them, how it takes the nation to come into particular stage or point. Also, youth don't know how the achievement is made to bring the nation to a certain point. So they may not know the step to take in order to progress the movement of the nation faster than it has before. When youth are just involved in the system, it will take them to learn before they go into the political system. But when people who knows the experience, so if they are taking, they will just take over with the system. But when youth are just taken into account, they will start from the very beginning on how to understand, how to do before getting to do. Also, lack of maturity will involve in the system. Youth, young people, not all young people are mature enough to be involved in the political system. Not all of them are in the aspect of government, politics, or law to know what government is all about, to know the functions of government. Not all people know about that. So lack of that knowledge or lack of that maturity, not everybody is mature enough not to stand to vote, or many people may just take the voting as just fun or just a mere thing to do. But now citizens that knows what to do will have more experience to do it. And also taking citizens into account may have influence in the country's economics and development, because youths they are active, they are proactive, they are more active than old elderly people. They have fresh blood, they are strong to stand, they are strong to move, they are strong to do whatever, because their blood is fresh and they are active to do everything they need to do in order to promote the society. Also, youths, they think they still have time to enjoy or to be benefited with the outcome of goods being done by them to the country. So the youth will have the mind to do a good thing to the country in order to make the achievements. Also, when youth are influenced, there is influence of culture in the society. When youth are recognized in the political system, so it makes the elderly people to live the culture in body of the young people, because it's the only way to keep the culture alive. When a father leaves a culture to a child will leave the culture to a grandchild, and so to generation. It's the only way to keep culture alive, to put the citizens in the political system. When youths are included in the political system, it shows that youths are recognized, youths are taken into account, and the elderly people will teach the youths how to make administration, how to make movement in the society. For example, Zaid Sadiq, he is a young man in legislative body who has become the youngest minister in Malaysia after independence. And he makes so much promotion, so much ways in involving youths in the administration or in political system. He is the one who brought the issue of the reduction of the voting age. He is the one, he received so many awards because he is active, because he wants to build the nation, not himself. He has no any primary objective than to build the nation. So when youths are taken into account, they will have more impacts, more emphasis, more thinking on how to develop the nation, how to take the nation where it has never reached. Youth are, what has been said, youths are the future of the nation, are the leaders of tomorrow. They have to be taken into account in order to be recognized, in order to keep the culture alive. So the voting age will, and abandoning such people will make them to lose confidence in the political system. But making them to come and vote, so one day the youth will think, I need to be voted for. He will come and he will have the mind, someone did this in my achievement or of our politics, so I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do that. So for that, reduction of voting age in Malaysia is really good. It gives you confidence in the political system. It gives them chance to choose what they want. It gives them the chance to choose who can represent them. It gives them the chance to choose who they think deserve to be chosen. It gives them the chance to choose a better future for them. Youth carries a large number in the society. They are large. So they also have a say in the political system, because if they are they choose the person who can represent their interests. Yes, it's good for them to choose or to vote for a person who can come and represent their interests in the society. In conclusion, I will say that taking youth into account, taking youth into political system is good, because it keeps culture alive, it recognizes youth people in voting, it promotes or it brings development in it brings development in economy of the nation, in the culture, in political system, in attires of the government. Like sports, it's only youth that need to keep sports in alive. Youth needs reduction of voting age is really advantageous. It's really good in Malaysia. The reduction, and it has been reduced by so many nations. So it needs to be the reduction of voting age. It is really good, and it is really advantageous to Malaysian citizens and young people. It makes them feel they are recognized. It makes them feel that they are important. It makes them feel that they will be the leaders of tomorrow. It makes them feel that they have a role to play in the country. It makes them feel that they have a role to play in the political system. It makes them feel that they have a lot of things to do in the future. It makes them feel that in the future they will be the leader, and it makes them feel that they have to make some development to their nation. Thank you. Hope you will be pleased with this, and hope the presentation we make will have some impact to you. Thank you.